I hope so you're doing well. So today we are going to discuss about academic writing pie chart band 8. I will share with you how you are supposed to write it and what are the main things that we are supposed to discuss in this pie chart. Let's start with me. IELTS academic writing band 8 pie chart. You are advised to spend about a maximum of 20 minutes on this task. The pie charts below describe average household expenditures by major categories in Japan and Malaysia in 2010. And what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to write a report. Write a report for a university lecturer describing the information shown. You should write at least 150 words. So for this task, we are supposed to write 150 words. So how we will complete our 150 words? It is very easy. Actually, we are supposed to rephrase the question as well, and then we are supposed to take the words from this both pie charts. As you can see, they are mentioned here two countries, Japan and Malaysia, housing, transport, food, health and care, other goods and services. And then in this pie chart, you can see the dark blue color is showing about the other goods and services. The dark color is showing about the housing, and light color is showing about other goods and services. But in your real, it's not in colored. They will be, it will be in light, I mean dark, black and white. It's not, it will not be colorful. So you can use the vocabulary from here: housing, transport, food, healthcare, other goods and services. So now let's move towards our sample answer. In our sample answer, we are first supposed to rephrase our question. The pie chart depicts or shows, you can use one word from here, the proportion and percentage. These are also two words that you can use here to show the about this pie chart of money spent on various household expenses in Japan compared to Malaysia in 2010 based on five categories. If you will write your answer until here, five categories, it's mean you're writing the topic, you're writing the response of band 6. And if you want to increase from 6, then you have to mention here, namely housing, transportation, food, healthcare, and other goods and services. We can see that, and we can use here as illustrated. Both are okay, but if we will use, we can see that we are using like a normal range of vocabulary, but as illustrated is a little high rank vocabulary. So most of the expenditures in Japan were made on goods and other services, comprising 29% of the total expenditures compared to Malaysia, which only spends 26%. So the first thing, they took the highest trend from the graph, like what is the highest trend, they mention it. And next we are supposed to hear food. Now we'll talk about the food, and you can see in the pie chart that food in both countries, they spend the second major thing that they spend on food, the second major amount of money. For example, food came as second priority for both countries with 24% and 27% of total household costs respectively. Here why I mentioned it with that, when we are talking about for the two things in the same sentence, then we will first write the noun, I mean the name of the item, anything that we are supposed to explain, food, electricity, whatever it is there. Food came as second priority for both countries with 24% and 27% of the total household cost respectively. And when we are supposed to use two things in the same sentence and with the same noun, so here in this sentence, at the end of the sentence, we are supposed to use our respectively mean in a or in order. Housing in Japan is placed as a third priority with an average of 21% expenditures in comparison to Malaysia, which places their housing as their major expenditure. And now you can see all noun with expenditures I mentioned here with this gray color, so you can see how many times we are using this vocabulary. Okay, then our next furthermore connector is here. Furthermore, money spent for the transport fall as the fourth priority with an average of 20% in Japan and 10% in Malaysia. Here we are talking about the fourth thing, that major expenditure or major, you can say, the money spent on the fourth, it is transportation. Lastly, Lastly, healthcare was observed to be the least priority for both countries, comprising 6% and 3% of the total expenditures. Here again, we are using one sentence but explaining the things for both, but we are not using here the word respectively because here we are using the word lastly. It's showing that this is our last sentence of the writing task. The noun expenditure from the question is very like we are supposed to use again and again. So how we can make it more comfortable for us to use this word with in a different way? Like sometime we will make it noun, sometime we will make it we will use in the sentence as a subject, we will use in as an object, or sometime we will use you can say collocation with that. As you can see, most of the expenditures, the total expenditures, total household costs, expenditures in comparison to Malaysia, major expenditures, money spent, the total expenditure. Here, this is two times we mention here the total. So you can see that like this we can enhance our questions answer, and we can use the word with in different way, I mean with different vocabulary, sometime while using the article, sometime with noun, or sometime with pronoun. So at the end of this task, I'm sharing with you some vocabulary: 80% fourth, fifths, 75% three quarters, 70% seven in tenths.